Blessed day to you all. My name is Lino from Sydney, Australia. Welcome to Pathways of Hope. The greatest commandments, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself. A week ago, it was my late mother's birthday. She was someone who had not only spoken about these great commandments, but who had lived them out throughout her life. She loved the Lord with all her heart, soul, and mind. I learned earlier on in life through her that to love God meant to spend time with Him in prayer. It was not uncommon for us to walk into my parents' room to find her praying the rosary, which we eventually did together as a family. She taught us the basics of praying as soon as you wake up, before and after meals, and before going to bed. After hearing Mass, she would encourage the family to spend more time with the Lord visiting the Blessed Sacrament. Same for a practice that I still observe till this day with my own family, making the sign of the cross as we walk or drive past a church. May seem like just a set of rituals, but having witnessed my mother journey through the different seasons of life, her actions and speech were a mere reflection of what's in her heart, soul, and mind, her great love for God. An important word to highlight in this commandment is all, not just partly, not when it's easy and convenient, not when things are great, or the opposite, not only when we are in need. It is all the time and in all aspects of our lives. Another concrete way that my mother showed her love for God was by loving those around us. In the example that comes to mind, it was literally our neighbors. Back in the Philippines, we lived in a house which was a few meters away from a creek. Between the back wall of our house and the actual creek lived several families in wooden shanties, or squatters as they were referred to. There were several occasions wherein the creek had overflowed due to heavy rains, and these families had to flee their flimsy homes and find safe shelter. Without any hesitation, my mother as well as my father had agreed for these families to stay for the time being in our home until the floods had subsided. I recall waking up one morning to find our modest home turned into some kind of evacuation center. With some of their personal belongings washed away, my mother would go through our stuff and would gladly give away things that we may no longer need, but would still be of use to them. Even beyond the flood situations, I distinctly recall my mother sharing some of her hot meals to our neighbors, not because we had so much excess, rather because it was the right thing to do. Or should I say, because it was the loving thing to do. There are countless more stories of how my mother lived out the commandment to love our neighbors. What struck me with all of these, it never occurred to me that she did these things because they were commandments or because it was the law. Loving for her was not a means to perform a duty. Rather, to be loving was the end itself. She would always say, love begets love. So true. The more we love, the more we express love, the more we are able to love. I'll forever be grateful to my mother for showing me what it means to love the Lord, your God, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and to love your neighbor as yourself. May you all have a blessed day.